At one particular time, I did talk about I did say Terrence Crawford.
Okay.
Now, but what are we rating these fighters on? What are we rating these fighters on?
Floyd Mayweather's eyeball test.
That works for
You're
me.
eyeballing these guys. You watch Terrence Crawford. You know why he has a problem getting the other welterweights in
And
the ring with him.
boxing.
Yo, yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
Floyd Mayweather has just fired back at Terrence Crawford in a live interview stating that he shouldn't be rated in the pound-for-pound list. On the other hand, Stephen A. Smith said that Terrence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet, the true pound-for-pound king. And in the four-belt era, he has proven it by becoming the undisputed world champion.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this four-belt era,
Moreover, Oscar De La Hoya said that Floyd Mayweather is the best trainer he has ever had, and if Mayweather ever fought Terrence Crawford, he would revitalize his style, reinvent himself, and become a new fighter, which shows how great Floyd truly is.
Floyd, for me, is the best trainer I've ever had in my life. He would revitalize his style. He would make him a new fighter. That's how great Floyd is.
However, Max Kellerman said that, at his best, Floyd Mayweather was the superior defensive fighter compared to Terrence Crawford, while Crawford is the better offensive fighter. But in those types of matchups, defense usually prevails over offense.
Because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
Furthermore, Robert Garcia said that while Terrence Crawford made history by becoming undisputed, in a prime-for-prime fight he would favor Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, though he still ranks Crawford among the all-time greats.
Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5-division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more. In a fight, I probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win. Just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
Danny Garcia added that because Mayweather is around a decade older than Crawford, a real competitive fight would not be reasonable, but an exhibition bout between them would be wild and actually a very fitting idea.
It'd be hard. I mean, they're not that separated in age, right?
I think Terrence is 38. I think Floyd, I am not sure he's either 10 years older or 12 years older. I don't know if he's 48 or 50.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the best Floyd, so I don't think it makes sense. Exhibition
would be crazy, actually.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Exhibition would be crazy, actually.
Yeah, I think that'll make a lot of sense.
Errol Spence Jr. explained that Floyd Mayweather's clever ring strategies and legendary ability place him on another level, which is why he views Floyd as one of the best fighters in history.
It makes a little difference because, Floyd's just different. I feel like, he's the best fighter. I don't know about all time. He might be the best fighter all time. If not, he's close, 2-3, and not by far. So, it's just it's a little bit different things that Floyd does, and Floyd was a lot older when I sparred him, and it's just certain things that he does that that's really tricky. Like the guy we get in the clinch, he was like squeezing my nose, and I couldn't breathe and stuff like that. So it's just certain things that he do in there. It's just veteran stuff, just veteran all-time type stuff he was doing when I was sparring.
He also added that even though a showdown between Crawford and Mayweather could only exist in imagination, Floyd's psychological edge separates him from everyone else, making him unmatched in that area.
Like Floyd would beat Crawford, would you think? I know that's just a fantasy match.
Man, I don't know.
I'm reaching,
I don't get into all that. Yeah. I don't know who went out, Sugar Ray Robinson and Floyd. I don't know.
But Floyd was the best work, just like mental games, everything.
Oh yeah, mentally, he by far, I feel like he's the best. He's the best mentally.
Coach Bernie stated that if Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford met in their primes, Floyd would come out on top by breaking Crawford down with precise jabs, clean hooks, punishing shots to the body, and airtight defense, eventually taking over the fight in the later rounds.
Floyd, just hypothetically speaking, just looking at, two fighters, you got Floyd and you got Crawford in their prime. Who you picking?
Can we all give an opinion on that?
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, I got an opinion on that too.
Coach Bell, what you think?
I'm listening to you, Rep.
Floyd versus a prime Mayweather. We can go Pretty Boy. We can go Money May versus Terence Crawford in his prime. Who we got?
I think Money May would have shut Crawford down. He would have bored him to sleep like he do these fighters.
Yeah.
He would have jabbed him, hooked him, stick him in the body. You know what I'm saying? And then when the fighters swing back, Floyd nowhere to be found. So mentally, they're draining.
Yeah.
And about the 6th or 7th round, that's when you start picking up, putting the combination together. Money May.
MMA analyst Luke Thomas noted that Terence Crawford's rise came later in his career, but he views him as one of the sharpest defensive fighters of all time, with the skill to track down and neutralize opponents no matter where they move in the ring.
This is the problem with Bud's career, right? It bloomed kind of late. I find Bud to be as defensively sound as I've ever seen a fighter. He can find you. There's nowhere to hide with him.
Like Floyd, he has such control over the terms in there. It's just insane.
Ryan Clark said that Floyd Mayweather was the standout fighter of his generation, embarrassing rivals with unmatched technique and mental strength, becoming the true symbol of dominance in the 2000s.
Here's why I say that. Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it right, the best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough, Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring we saw this weekend.
He went on to say that Terence Crawford has now shown his own greatness by decisively beating stars like Errol Spence and Canelo, proving both his courage and elite ability.
There's no fear in him in the way that he's attacked gaining notoriety. Bud's been the baddest man for 12 years, but no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that, and Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their eras equally.
Max Kellerman added that although Floyd's resume is deeper, Terence Crawford has shown a greater readiness to take on anyone put in front of him.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Yes. That makes a difference to people.
Jeff Mayweather pointed to Floyd Mayweather's victory over a young Canelo Alvarez as clear proof of Floyd's brilliance in the ring, while also highlighting the promise Canelo showed early in his career.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
What was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. I'm so yeah, very very young in the game, obviously.